So I have another page idea. This one's kind of simple, but it could be pretty detailed if you want it to be. First of all, just find pictures of things you like, scrapbook papers. And I used a 1-inch punch because I had it. If I didn't, I would probably just cut them. And what we're going to do is we're going to find parts of images we like. Like I really like the way that looks. And I'm going to punch that. And this one, I think I like this part. It's not really a big deal. I mean, you could even cut this on an angle and get a whole different look. But you're just going to go through and cut out parts of things you like. And we're only doing a 1-inch square. You can use magazine images, scrapbook papers. This is a picture that I had done. This is the background. And before I completely finished it, I went and made me copies. So now I have this really cool paper of my very own to use in something. And I kind of like this little spot right there. And I'm going to punch that. And so then we're going to take these little squares and we are going to glue them onto our fabric. Now this is the normal size that we've been doing, but I'm keeping it folded because the other half is going to give you an idea of what it's going to be. I'm going to take a little glue, not a lot, and put them on the paper in a pleasing manner. Like, you know, I might not want to put all these black and whites like that, you know. I mean, it's totally up to you. But whatever, you know, whatever things you like, however you want it to look. After we have done this, and you kind of want to line them up because of the next step. But if it's not perfect, that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. We're going to take it and we're going to sew each page down, or each little square down. Then I decided it needed more stitching lines, so I went down these. I will go between these, but I'm going to wait until I get these all on. That way I can do it in one step. I did, you know, this part. So there will be a broken line there, but that's okay. You know, it's just kind of all about the texture and the look. What I used for the background on this was, I don't know, I really don't know, some old linen of some sort. It's very fragile. It's got a little snag here. There's a little hole here. It's very, very, very fragile. So when messing with it, I went like this and I could just tear it. So I wanted to reinforce it, so I put it on some non-fusible interfacing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the rest of these on, stitch it down, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do next. Okay, so I have all my little 1-inch squares sewn on. And there's so many things you could do with this. You could put another picture on top. But I really like this. I like the way it turned out. So I'm going to leave this as it is. Because once I put it in the journal, if I wanted to, I could write quotes in these lines and do, you know, other things to it. But I like the pictures because I picked out things that I thought were cool. So to keep it journal-y, I went ahead and put a little band here so that you could tuck something in there as you go along. And if you notice, my stitching isn't good, and that's okay. I like that. But if you're one of those that want your stitching straight and you don't like all the little strings, that's okay too. It's so up to you what you like to do. These are just ideas. These aren't have-tos. So I've kind of been thinking, how do I want to finish this page? So yeah, the back is just as messy. I'm going to take a piece of muslin. It's a little bit short in size, but it's okay because it's still going to work. And I am going to put it on the back. But before I do that, as the muslin itself, I'm going to take this pretty scrapbook paper and center one on each side. And then I'm going to take some paper I've already cut and layer this. And I'm going to stitch all that down and then stitch it to this part on the back, and that way I have a page that's got a lot of use to it. We can draw on it, We could color on it. We could write whatever it is you want to do in your journal. Now, granted, you could do way more. You could put pockets and you could put little quotes and all kinds of things in there. But my idea of this journal is a little bit to be a working journal. We're going to make it, and I'm hoping that down the road I might want to put more stuff into it. So this is our next page. I will go and get this all sewed back, and strike that. I'll get this sewed together and I'll be right back. So I'm back, and I have finished this page. We all seen this part, and this is what I did to the inside. So now I can write on it, draw on it, whatever it is I want to do to it. I decided it needed a little tab. I don't know where it's going in the book yet, but it needed a tab. I want you to notice on both sides that my stitching is not perfect. Sometimes they met up, sometimes they didn't. I didn't quite catch all of the squares, all 4 sides, but I caught at least 3. And it's not like we're going to wear this. Now, if you're going to do something like this and wear it, yeah, I recommend you catch it all. Another thing is, I left my threads because I like that, which is really a good thing, because if anybody ever said, you have to snip all your threads or you can't sew, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to tell them I'll find something else to make. My little tab is sewn on really crooked and wild, but it was intentional, as was the sewing here. I tend to sew with what's handy, or create with what's handy. And so my upper thread was black and my bottom thread was white, which really was good for this, because all of the stitching around there doesn't take away from the black lines that I put on there originally. So it looks like it was well planned, but we'll just leave it there. One thing I did do is I did not stitch the top. So this could be your secret hidden compartment if you wanted it to be. And there's one more page for our book. I'm going to do a couple more pages, and then I'm going to show you how to stitch them in. If you followed the measurements for the cover that I did, it's going to take a lot of pages to fill it up, but we can learn how to put them in as we go along. It's up to you on the order you put them in, because some of us are going to want to not necessarily put them in the order they're made, but we're going to want to put them in with what they look good next to. So I will see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.